Hello, this is George Evans. After 25 years as a Chief Revenue Officer, I wanted to share with you some thoughts on building a world-class business development team. Today, I'd like to start with some thoughts on sales execution, and particularly, I think my emphasis will be for service providers. So, fund administration, prime brokerage, audit, custodian, sales, and business development teams. When I think about sales execution, I think the first conversation we all need to have is who are we selling to at the firm? Is this a top down or a bottom up sale? I personally like the top down sale. I like selling and doing my initial prospecting with really the C suite, whether it be the CEO, the CFO, the COO, the CCO. And I think what's important is you research your buyer, and you not only research their company, but you research your buyer personally. Where'd they go to school? Where have they worked? And you get to know a little bit about that person's pedigree. I think that's important. I think the other thing is it's important to develop a set of inside people also. So people that will help move the ball for you, people that will help you understand the obstacles, and that can prove to be very helpful if you're kind of hamming and egging in a sales deal. So know your buyer, study your buyer, and think about the team that you want to sell to. The second thing I'd like to talk a little bit about is just like pipeline management. And one of the things that's worked for me for a very long time with individual salespeople is having a three times goal. So if you're giving someone a $1 million sales number as a bogey, they really should have pipeline that's closer to three, because we've all been around the block, and you know that you're going to win deals, you're going to lose deals, deals are going to get deferred, you're going to hear every story you've ever heard. So flow is important, and I have always felt the three times rule works very well. It's also important to break your deals into short, medium, long term, and it's also important to break your deals into tactical deals, strategic deals. I always felt a weekly war room with salespeople talking about their best deals was very important. So now you're in and you're talking to somebody and you're in the sales process, right? I think the things you need to think about, leading with the headlines, right? The age-old problem in sales to me has been people are feature heavy and benefit light, right? This is all about solving a problem for a prospect, right? And I think you need to help them, and you need to think about how to define that problem that you're solving. So I think you need to think about things like, what are first meeting goals? How do you handle objections? What are the kinds of questions you want to ask, the discovery that you want to do? And then really important is, how do you influence next steps in that discussion? So now that you're in, and now you've chatted with someone, and now you have potentially an opportunity, I think this is where you've got to stand and look in the mirror and talk to your organization about, can we add value here? What problems are we solving? Do we have the right level of sponsorship at this firm? Should we pursue this? Who would we compete with? Can we compete? And really, what is the value proposition? So now you get to proposal, right? You decide, I'm going to move forward, and you're going to issue an RFP or issue a proposal. This is where the team that you put in front of this prospect is very important. That team knows that it's important to distinguish between the salesperson and the team that they're going to work with day to day. So that team should be well prepared. That team should be well rehearsed. The platform and the demos you do should be all geared to understanding how that prospect would use your product, right? And then it's all about closing that sale. And I think you have to read the tea leaves, right? One good thing about salespeople is they're eternal optimists, right? So the glass is always half full. But that's not always the case in a deal, and I think it's very important that you do fish or cut bait on deals. There are good deals and there are bad deals, and you have to continue to think about the cost of an acquisition, right? And then lastly, I would just tell you, as you win and lose, it's important to debrief all the time. Celebrate your wins, but sales is about resiliency and recovery, right? So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get ready for the next deal, right? And my last comment would be, don't boil the ocean, right? A lot of fish in the ocean, but you can be very precise and you can smart bomb this market with the right kind of data and with the right kind of business intelligence. So I just want to thank you. My plan is to every so often get on and talk about a few things that I think have been effective in my career, and hopefully those things will help you build your world-class business development team. So thanks a lot, and have a great day.